It is really good to establish your presence in the introduction. This is the time to introduce yourself, but keep this brief. Most importantly, establish what you will be talking about. Remember, your audience may know very little about your topic, if anything. So you may need to set the scene in a simple and general way. If you have a key idea that you are building your talk around, it's a good idea to identify that in the introduction. It always helps the audience to relate to the speaker and to the topic if the speaker has a personal reason or a particular experience related to the topic. At least explain why you chose the topic and why you believe it will be worthwhile listening to. However you do it, this is your chance to capture their attention. If possible, structure your talk around a simple, one-line message. Think of one general concept that you want your audience to remember. If you build your talk around a simple message, it has much more coherence. It avoids the shopping list structure where you present fact after fact after fact. Your audience will remember very little of this sort of talk because it presents a mass of detail and the focus is not clear. You do need to read a lot to discover the overview of the topic, what is important, and what are the significant debates that are going on around this topic. You may need to answer questions on the spot, so you will need deep knowledge to draw from. From the background that you've gained from your reading, it is up to you to decide what to include in the talk. Avoid looking to one book and structuring your talk around its headings, chapters, or sections. Take a wider perspective. You are now the expert. You decide on the most interesting and important ideas to include in your talk. Because you are the expert, you determine where the talk goes. Don't tell the audience what information is in the book for its own sake. Be selective and tell them what is important and most interesting. And tell them what the literature says about this, because different research journals often do not agree with one another. Actually, the topics where there is disagreement are places to be explored rather than avoided. These are often the most engaging. If you do have any personal or professional experience related to the topic, that is fantastic. Draw on this as well. But be sure to make clear where ideas are from your own perspective and what things are actually from research. Include an activity if you can. If your audience is small enough to fit in a classroom, this will allow you to have some personal interaction. It is always more engaging if you can get the audience involved. Your time is limited, so this activity does not need to be on a large scale. You can get people to just think of a time when, or to turn to the person next to them and discuss something for a minute, or make a list of 5 things. The tighter your schedule is, the less flexibility you will have for audience participation, but it adds a great deal to communicating your message. Handouts may be a required part of your assessment. If you do not have a PowerPoint projector available, it may be helpful for your audience to have a visual guide or a program of what you will cover. Handouts like this can support your talk, and the audience can have them in front of them while you are delivering your presentation. It can be useful for the audience to have a handout for other reasons. It might be part of one of your activities, or it may provide stats or formula because these are difficult to express verbally or to copy down. Handouts can also add to your talk by giving further information. This may include details you could not fit into your talk, or further readings and so on. However, handouts giving further information are not always a good idea to give out beforehand because they will take your audience's attention away from your presentation. Just remember, an oral presentation is not like an essay. Do not think you can cram in all the detail you'll be able to put into a 2,000-word text. You need to keep it simple, and in an oral presentation, reinforce the ideas a lot more. If you are daunted by standing in front of an audience for 5 to 10 minutes, you'll be surprised how little time this is. When you have plenty to say, it goes very quickly. It is important to practice over and over, and do this as you intend to do on the day. A full dress rehearsal is very necessary, and this must be out loud, full volume, and with all the charts and slides you are planning to use. And a practice audience if possible. Make sure you time yourself during the practice as well. You have completed the final chapter of oral presentations. We hope you have enjoyed the content. For more study skills resources, please visit the RMIT Learning Lab.